about his own 5-yard line. A bit of a high snap. Pressure. Block. Picked up Alabama. Minka Fitzpatrick. Touchdown, Alabama. Touchdown, Alabama. Minka Fitzpatrick on the punt block. Got it on one hop and walked it into the end zone. Bama's on top and stretching their lead here in Akron. On a second down, the give. Derrick Henry behind the big block. Up the middle. In the secondary. He's going to go. Touchdown, Alabama. And the Cam Robinson ever sealed the entire side of the Georgia defense. 30 yards. Touchdown, Alabama. Brian Kelly points the other. Mulaney in motion. Here now. Coker looking long. Throwing down in double coverage. He's got a man ready. He's there. Touchdown, Alabama. Touchdown, Alabama. 45 yards. Coker to Ridley. My goodness, what a throw. What a play. The good guys are up 23-3. Single setback is Chubb. They fake it to him. Ramsey throws right side. Intercepted, Alabama. Intercepted by Eddie Jackson. He's going to take it to the 25. He's to the 20. Cuts to the near side. Picks up blockers. 15, 10. He's angling right. He's going to go 50 yards. Touchdown, Alabama. Touchdown, Alabama. A 50-yard interception run back by Eddie Jackson on the throw from the newcomer quarterback, Grace Ramsey. And Alabama pads their lead to 30-3. Tim Williams in now for Bama. Here's a 2nd and 10. Ramsey in trouble, and he's going down. Second sack of the ball game. Ramsey, the quarterback, pressure. Minka Fitzpatrick, take him down. 3rd sack of the ball game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Bulldogs are just looking around saying, where in the world are these white jerseys coming from?
Live, Gary Harris and the CTKO crew with special guests, feature stories, and a comprehensive look at Alabama's upcoming game. It's Crimson Tide Kickoff on WVUA 23.
And welcome into Crimson Tide Kickoff on this homecoming Saturday. It's a little breezy, but all in all, the forecast calls for things to clear up later on this afternoon, and it should be nice. I'm Gary Harris. Thanks for joining us on the show. As always, we've got a jam-packed program on tap. Coming up, we've got 3 great guests for you: Antoine Caldwell, Keith McCants, and Alabama women's basketball coach Christy Curry. We'll look at Jacob Coker in our player spotlight, and we'll go around the SEC to see who else is playing today and hear from the head coaches. And Alabama gymnastics coach Dana Duckworth is today's grand marshal for the homecoming parade. We'll talk with her about that, but first, we start with our Bama headlines.
For the latest on the Crimson Tide, you don't need the newspaper. You need Bama headlines.
Arkansas, to me, has a really, really good team. Everybody knows what a physical game it was last year, and they have 16 starters back. I know they got a couple receivers that are injured, but for the offensive linemen, really good running back, and Alex Collins, quarterback Brandon Allen, has been starting now for 3 years and is a very, very good player. And, their defense is, one of the tops against the run in the SEC. And overall, they have played better and better each week.
To me, they're the staple of what college football is, not just the SEC. They've got a phenomenal head coach, their environment. I know that you guys that have been there. I'd never been there until 2 years ago. It's as good as any environment. I've been in the Big Ten and the Big 12. I've been to every part of this country, and I think that environment is probably as good as any that there is for a home game environment, week after week after week after week. And we all know that their draft selections and their history of first-round draft picks and where they rank in recruiting. They just have an endless supply of everything that you need, and I think that's what makes this game so fun and intriguing, and hopefully makes all of our guys' juices flow a little bit more.
Well, you heard from both the head coaches right there. Both teams, of course, play physical, hard-nosed football. And speaking of physical, what about Bo Scarborough? A lot of Alabama fans asking that question. Bo entered the game on the last 2 plays against Georgia last weekend, where he rushed for 5 yards total. The question remains, will we see him more as the season progresses? Tackling Derrick Henry and Bo Scarborough in the 4th quarter could really be tough for a defense. Bo came off suspension last week. He's eligible to play. Maybe we'll see more of him in this game tonight. Well, there's no doubt Alabama players felt pretty good about beating Georgia the way they did. Now, going in as an underdog and coming out on top, feels nice. And the players told us this week they really are a team now that has found its identity.
You know, to go on a team, you know, a good Georgia team, and go in there, and we just feel like we really imposed our will on them. You know, kind of thought that, you know, we just played our entire game, the complete game that we could play, and we kind of saw how good this team could be, and that was just a really exciting moment for us.
Definitely satisfying for us, you know. We feel like we can do that almost week in and week out, and it was just good for us to actually put 4 quarters together and execute throughout the game. So that was probably the most satisfying part.
Well, we all know that Coach Saban can be animated in his press conferences at times. We've seen that, and we had one of those moments this week when a reporter asked him about how he handles all of the hype surrounding his football team. Well, he had a statement that was pointed toward the media, but I really think it was directed toward his football team. Take a listen.
Well, I say the same thing as when you all buried us last week, all right, and all that it really doesn't matter what you think. All right, and it really doesn't matter what you say. And I'm hoping that nobody on our team is playing for you. I hope they're playing for each other and their team and what they want to accomplish and not what you think. All right, because that's not certainly what I'm doing. I'm coaching and working for our players and our team to be as good as it can be. And if that's not pleasing to somebody else, it's not pleasing to somebody else. I said before, I believe in our team. I do believe in our team. All right, and we're going to work hard to make our team better. And I hope the players respond the right way. And it's not going to be for you. The fans, yes. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. Gone.
Last one with Alex.
So if that was the case, I mean, we'd have to get some respirators out or something down there, all right, to put life back in people.
Last one with Alex.
It's hard to
You
follow.
better make it a good one now because I'm about half fired up here.
I know you don't like to do comparisons, but
No, I don't. So don't ask me a comparison question.
I'm not.
Well, as you know, Alabama has never had a shortage of big and talented football players. Arkansas head coach Brett Bielema said in his weekly press conference he has a theory of why that is. He thinks Coach Saban has a defensive lineman machine. He just spits them out each year.
I think they have a defensive front that's comparable only to the NFL. I mean, they have, you know, I think at one point somebody's told me that they've played 12 interior defensive linemen, which is, they all look the same. I swear there's a little machine that just creates them and they all walk outside. They all look the same and play the same, unfortunately.
All right, let's have a check-in now with our forecast. We have got Peter Crank in with us this morning on campus. Peter, got some rain last night, a little overcast and breezy this morning. What's the outlook for the football game this evening?
Well, Gary, we did see that rain last night, and that's what we're still seeing with the clouds left over. But the good news is we are dry across the area right now. Looking nationally, we are seeing cooler temperatures moving into the area. You can see that across the area. 55 in Kansas City. It's still 65 here in Tuscaloosa. And as we go throughout the day today, the clouds will clear as the cold front pushes further to the south and east. And then we'll see temperatures back into the mid-70s this afternoon as those clouds clear. And then by tonight, we'll be dropping back down into the 50s. For the game time, great weather. We'll be in the 60s throughout the first half of the game before cooling back down into the 50s as we end the game. Heading into the overnight hours tonight, we'll clear on out as well. A great autumn weather forecast for this football game and homecoming for this weekend. Gary.
Thank you so much, Pete. Still to come on the program, Alabama women's basketball coach Christy Curry will join me live as the women are gearing up for their season. She'll break it down for us coming up. We're just getting started here on CTKO, presented by Alpha Insurance. We're right back after this, so you make sure and stay with us right here on WVUA 23. University of Alabama sororities popped their fingers off this week for the annual homecoming lawn decorations that went on display Friday afternoon. The decoration stuck to UA's Forever Crimson faithful, loyal, firm, and true homecoming theme while offering creations of Nick Saban, Bear Bryant, Derrick Henry, and others up and down Sorority Row. Other floats focused on Alabama's rich history on and off the football field. Well, it's time for our first special guest of the morning here on the homecoming edition of CTKO, Alabama women's basketball coach Christy Curry. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks so much for having us.
Got some fall in the air this morning, don't we?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely. It's going to be a fun day and going to be cool at the game. I think I got to put a little heavier jacket on tonight.
Of course, fall in the air, cooler temperatures means basketball can't be far behind, and indeed, it's coming up. You're already practicing. I know you just started this past week, but what have you seen from your ladies so far in practice?
It's tremendous work ethic. I mean, Nikki Hegstetter, our senior, leading the way, and we're really excited. Alabama High School Player of the Year and Mississippi High School Player of the Year, both freshmen. So you can tell our basketball team's better. We're extremely youthful, but excited, and every day is just a true joy to be out there with them because of their work ethic and commitment.
I know when you took this job on, you were excited.
Yes.
Let's be clear on that. But you knew also where Alabama was at the time. Your first year, quite frankly, you exceeded expectations with 7 conference victories, the most around here in a while. Last year, you fell back to 2 conference wins. I know injuries played a big part in that. It is a process, but in this third year, what do you think this team can accomplish?
Well, I think, I think we'll be the team that nobody expects to do what we're going to do.
Okay.
I mean, we've got 2 seniors, a junior, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores. So a lot of youth with a lot of energy, and I like our depth. I think in this league you have to have tremendous depth to survive. And, I mean, that's waves of talent in and out. And so we feel like we're going to go 10, 11 deep, and we're excited about that because the perimeter size, we're bigger on the perimeter, more athletic on the perimeter, and that's what you have to recruit to in this league.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I know your history says you like to play a lot of players, and the style that you play, you need a lot of players. Do you feel like this year, with that in mind, with the depth, with 2 years in the recruiting cycle now, that you're going to be able to play more of the up-tempo style that you've preferred in the past?
We really are, and we're going to be able to press. We're going to be more of a transition team, and I think you have to have depth and talent and athleticism to be able to do that and to play that way. And that's the joy of coaching. Each year you feel like you have to make some adjustments depending on your personnel, and we're starting to walk out at practice with a grin on our face, going, that's more how we're supposed to look.
Right.
And we've gotten 3 commitments in this class that will sign with us November the 11th. Actually, one's here today visiting, and we're excited about the future. So I know we'll even smile more in that 4th year when we walk out there. So it's the first time where I've walked out at practice and go, wow, this is how we're starting to look the way we're supposed to look. So it's exciting.
And for the coaching staff, it's the 3rd season. Although you're still a young team, everybody knows what to expect. Everyone's on the same page, and that's going to be a lot easier than when you came in.
I mean, everything from changing the culture of how we approach class on a daily basis, how we handle our community affairs, how we handle on the court, practice, the training room. So that culture is established, and, association brings on assimilation in those areas. And that's something that we had to change in every aspect. And it's a process, but at the same time, it's a blessing. Our kids are truly blessed to be at the University of Alabama with the resources we have to get a world-class degree, and we're excited about the future of the program.
Now, I know you're the women's coach, but in basketball, women's basketball and the men's program work hand in hand. Avery Johnson has just infused everybody with excitement and enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
Talk about working with him, and talk about this big tip-off event you've got coming up for both teams.
Let me tell you, for an example with Avery, yesterday walks in our practice.
Wow.
How many men's coaches take time to walk in your practice and support you? And for our kids to see that, we're excited, and we appreciate him. He's taken time for us anytime we've asked, and we've tried to take time for he and his staff, and we're excited to kick off the season November the 13th with the doubleheader, the basketball event on October the 27th, be a season ticket holder to get your invitation. And so we're just thrilled to death. I mean, you better buckle up. Seriously. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, he's in the building process as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to be patient and understand that he knows how to win and build a championship culture, and it's only a matter of time. There's too much energy and passion and enthusiasm, and true genuine. He's so genuine. He's so real, and I love that. And he's embraced our program. I can't even put into words.
That buckle up's not just a motto.
Right.
You really better hold on.
Buckle up.
We got about 30 seconds, but in a nutshell, tell me about the non-conference schedule. How challenging is it?
Excited. Again, I think it gives our team a chance to grow, but be challenged. We go to Georgia Tech. We've got Georgetown coming here. So we've been able to fix that, design our schedule the way our needs are as far as our talent and where we're at building the program. So it's the first time we've had our hands on our schedule. So we're pretty fired up about the preseason and then headed into conference season. Hey, 3 home weekend games in January has not happened since I've been here in the SEC.
Nice.
So many pieces in place for us to be successful. We've got to stay healthy. We've got to be patient. Look, every day, as young as we are, we will get better.
Yeah.
And that's what we're at right now. Let's just get better with every day, and we're excited.
Get your season tickets now for Foster Auditorium. It's going to be a lot of fun in 2015, 2016. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to
Roll
take a
Tide.
time out, but when we come back, our Andrew Clare will break down Alabama quarterback Jake Coker in this week's Player Spotlight. More CTKO presented by Alpha Insurance will roll on right after this, so you stay tuned for more right here on WVUA 23. The countdown to kickoff is on, and we got it for you right there on your screen. And the University of Alabama's annual bonfire drew a large crowd on the quad last night as many marveled at another impressive blaze that took place moments after the pep rally concluded. Before the bonfire, Nick Saban, Alabama football players in the Eli Gold took the mic and talked to the crowd, and then the $1 Million Band played some tunes. It was a good night. Alabama gymnastics coach Dana Duckworth will serve as the Grand Marshal for today's homecoming parade. Our Jack Royer talked with her yesterday and joins us now with more. Jack, take it away.
Gary, she has a rich history with a program that has a rich history of its own. And today, though, a first for gymnastics head coach Dana Duckworth, serving in a special role for the Alabama homecoming parade. On any given day inside the Alabama gymnastics facility, it's practice, practice, and more practice. Hardly time for anything else. But on this homecoming Friday, head coach Dana Duckworth is preparing for a special role with the Crimson Tide, leading the homecoming parade as Grand Marshal.
I was so shocked when I got the phone call, but so honored because this is my university. My blood is crimson. I believe that this is one of the best places in America to get your education.
In her 21st year with the program, she's educating the young women on her team, after being a part of national championship teams, both as a coach and competitor.
And my goal really when I first came on was to just share my passion for the sport, and then to be able to do what you love as a head coach and be the leader of this program. It's just a complete honor.
She's been in the homecoming parade before.
The Alabama gymnastics team.
But Grand Marshal, that's a first for a coach that's been a big part of some of the Crimson Tide's proudest moments. Coach Duckworth says this one will be special.
And I know that as I wave and my smile is from ear to ear, it is just because it's this culmination of love and effort and perseverance that I'm here and I get to do this and I get to wave as the Grand Marshal of my university. It's very cool.
Her first time as Grand Marshal for the 95th Homecoming Parade. It's cool for her and her fans on a special day at the capstone. Now, Coach Duckworth is very excited about her opportunity today. We were excited to be with her yesterday. She couldn't have been more hospitable to us, letting us watch practice. And she says she wants us to come back and introduce you to more of her champions on her incredible gymnastics team. And that's an offer that we'll take her up on. Gary?
Thank you, Jack. Love Coach Duckworth. Great story, really. She's excited. She's excited about everything she does. As we're excited here on Crimson Tide Kickoff, presented by Alpha Insurance, because when we come back, former Bama linebacker Keith McCants will join us live. He has an interesting story to tell. He'll share it with us next here on the program. So you stay with us, just like those young folks right there. We're having a lot of fun. We'll be back after this. Alabama got its groove on last Saturday in Athens, destroying the Bulldogs 38-10. Star running back Derrick Henry was almost perfect, except for this. His most memorable moment might have been this: the chest bump and nobody's home. Ouch. Teammates have been giving him heck all week about it. It's what's known on Twitter as a fail, but that's the only thing that Derrick Henry failed at on Saturday against the Dogs. He had nearly 150 yards rushing, but that is funny. All right, welcome back to Crimson Tide Kickoff, presented by Alpha Insurance on the campus of the University of Alabama, right here on University Boulevard. The homecoming parade will be coming through here beginning at 1 o'clock. Lynn Brooks and Terry Saban will have that coverage. Right now, it's my pleasure to be joined by a good friend of mine, former Alabama All-American linebacker and NFL standout Keith McCants. Good to see you again, Keith.
Hey, man, glad to see you. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
That's
you look
great.
all dapper today. Got your Bama
man.
colors on.
I'm here with you, man. This is the first homecoming I came to in, what, 20 years?
Well, good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Talk about what it means for you to get back here on campus and have a chance to relive some of the greatest memories in your life. That 1989 season was special in a lot of ways for you.
It sure was, man. I'm going to tell you, that's the first time we ever played Auburn in Auburn, and I tell you, I had a heck of a game there.
What did you have, 16 tackles or 18?
Something like that.
Yeah,
yeah, but I tell you what, it's come back here to the University of Alabama, man, and walk around here and just to be able to look at the buildings and putting in the work. It's all worth it. It really is all worth it.
Yeah, now following that 89 season, you had another year of eligibility. And in those days, it wasn't as common for juniors to leave early, but you did. You were a very high, number 4 overall?
Yes.
Number 4 overall by the Tampa Bay Bucks. And you had a nice NFL career, but it also led to some dark moments in your life. Your desire to play and live up to that contract. Your knee was already pretty much gone by the time you got to the NFL. And you got hooked on prescription painkillers. Tell that story and what that led to.
Well, it was devastating. Knowing is half the battle. It's what you know is half the battle. And what I didn't know coming out of college and going into the NFL, the reason I left as a junior is because I had a bad knee, and I knew it was bad. But the doctors knew that I wouldn't last that long in the NFL. I had a record-breaking contract, which was $7.6 million actually, and guarantee money, which was unheard. And when I was drafted, they said, well, he ain't gonna last 5 years. They said, we only need him for 3. But when you go to the National Football League, you're playing in a business.
Right.
And when you play for college, you play for the love of the game, the tradition, and this one is great. But what I didn't know, at all costs, I had to be on the field. They had one.
Yeah, they weren't paying you to sit on the bench.
No, they don't pay you to sit on the bench. One incident happened. We were playing the Detroit Lions. I hit Barry Sanders. The bone came out of my shoulder. And Sam Walsh makes the statement: "We don't pay you $3.5 million to sit on the bench. You got to get back in there." So, in order to have me on the field at all times, and this is what I do the motivation speaking. That's why I tell college students, look, it's one thing to get to the NFL, it's another thing to stay there, because any means necessary, you got to be out there. I was consuming over 185 pills a week. Morphine shots after the game. My body is tore up. I done had 32 surgeries already, and got to have a hip replacement. Still having surgeries 20 years later due to the point of the playing in the National Football.
Alabama All-SEC center Antoine Caldwell is our next guest. Good to see you, Antoine.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Should say NFL offensive lineman too for a number of years, mainly with the Texans, and still living in Houston, now in business out there. Before we talk about your career, let's talk about this game. I know as an offensive lineman, you love these kind of games. There's not going to be a lot of trickery going on between Alabama and Arkansas. It's going to be a couple teams getting it on and getting physical and seeing who's